fresh out the box.
Fresh California plums.
Welcome to another episode of Fresh Film Fridays, the podcast where two dudes pick the newest streaming movies or the movies in theaters and discuss them. Today we are talking about 2022's X, which was directed by Ty West. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Justin.
Justin, I was very disappointed to find out this was not a prequel to Triple X. I was like...
The second one was Double X, and then
Yeah.
the third one, Vin Diesel's like, this time it's for family.
I'm like, where is Vin Diesel as a child? I was expecting this to be, the origin story of Triple X. Not the case. Not the case.
Oh.
No. Great movie. A24 at its finest. What did you think? This is a movie that I feel like you would make fun of me for liking, so I'm curious what you thought about it.
Why do you think I'd make fun of you for liking it?
Because it's artsy. I don't know. It definitely has more of a independent feel to it. Not a lot of fireworks and popcorn and stuff.
I really liked it.
Hey.
For a lot of different reasons. I mean, it was a slasher, but it was the first scary movie I've seen in a long time where, the old people definitely had to do with it, but I felt like pretty uncomfortable watching it.
Yeah, it's a very great homage to like 70s, 80s horror slasher movies, very heavily influenced by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously 70s Texas, This is the same director. I don't know if you've ever seen The House of the Devil from 2009. You ever see that one?
No.
Similar to this, not a slasher movie, but like kind of paying homage to the 70s, 80s, like demon possession movies, kind of.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at him now. He did like VHS.
Did he do VHS? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that movie, actually, we've covered on Wheel of Horror. That movie was actually filmed in Torrington, Connecticut, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Torrington's pretty creepy.
Yeah. So this was kind of his horror follow-up, I guess, to that. So it's been a while. He's been doing other films in between Ty West. Obviously the grainy look. There was some couple 4:3 aspect ratio where it would change to like a Super 8 kind of film. And yeah, great transitions. It was very, reminiscent of 70s, 80s kind of films. So obviously I loved it.
Yeah, it got a 6.9 on IMDb, which I think is a little low. I would say the music in this movie, probably one of the best I've seen.
Do you mean the score or the soundtrack?
Both.
Ooh.
Well, not like the music soundtrack, but like, I guess the score, what you call it.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably one of the best I've ever heard. Like, it made the scenes so much more uncomfortable, so much more frightening.
Yeah.
And it was really perfect.
It was just like breathing, right? It was like... Like it was like this. It was almost like porno breath, but like slowed down and creepy, right?
And old.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the music was really good.
So I know we spoke earlier about Brittany Snow being in this movie. I don't think you remember when we were in high school. She was on this show called American Dreams with the hostess from Waiting. Do you remember that young girl?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they were both on that show, and it's funny because in the van on the way to the place, she asked the other girl, "What's your American dream?" And I was like, do you think she's thinking like, hey, I was on that show?
I was thinking about her too, because the first thing I ever saw her in was John Tucker Must Die. I believe that film from like 2006. I think she's in that, right? That's her? Hold on. Let me make sure that's her before I completely fuck this up. Yeah, she is. Okay, so John Tucker Must Die. So as a 16-year-old, I never in a million years thought I'd see her wiping semen off of her butt and her breasts.
I was wondering, like, do you think they got like a honey bun and they were like, all right, just put like...
I'm going to assume it's not method. This is COVID times.
You think Kid Cudi was like, it needs to be method?
No, I'm going to guess it was something else. Maybe some KY jelly that was like poured sugar on it. I don't know. I don't know how you do fake cum, Justin. I don't know. But yeah, I'm assuming that's not real. But believe me, as a child, I always had a crush on Brittany Snow. She was in Hairspray and all that. And never thought I'd see her like this.
Yeah, I actually followed her on Instagram and I took a picture of this very funny comment someone left. And it said, "Yo, I ain't ever gonna watch Pitch Perfect movies the same again after this film."
Yeah.
And that is for sure. But also, this movie had incredible sound effects. Like when the van went over the dead cow in the road and you kind of like heard it's like organs crunching and shit.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, we just watched Fresh, obviously, which had some pretty gory scenes, but we did Wheel of Horror, we did Turistas, and my God, that was gory. But this movie was so gory, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the cow, you were just mentioning that, where we see its guts and everything like that, but like that's the smallest amount of gore compared to the last like 35 minutes.
Yeah, I just liked how, in a typical scary movie, the van would have just went over the cow, but the
Yeah.
director, whoever, was like, no, like let's get that like gushy, bloody sound in there.
Mm. You know what? Before we move on, really quick, let's just give a little overview of the film. So basically, it's just about this group of people in Texas. They're ranging from 40 to like 20, and they're just nobody's really doing very well at their jobs. They're mentioning they're wearing hard hats and they're working kind of blue collar jobs. They want to get out of this. They want to become their own like crew that makes great films. So they're like, we're gonna make a porno that's like an avant-garde good porno. It's not just people fucking. There's a plot. It looks good. It's shot well. Whatever. That's their goal. So they rent out this random little cabin in Texas that's on the property of this old couple. They're gonna pay them. And that's basically the film. They all go there and then they start shooting the porno and then shit starts going to hell.
Yeah, that's a pretty good rundown. One thing I thought of before anything went awry was when they got to this place, because they're from Houston. The guy said they were from Houston. I don't know where they traveled to, the distance, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, why here? Like, there were no other places closer. I mean, I know they were trying to make it like realistic, like, hey, we're on vacation at this cabin, but like they could have just like rented a hotel room, or you're telling me there was no warehouse or something in Houston?
They kind of address that. They say that, they're like they're like our city money or whatever, like the city money is going to work out here because it's cheaper or whatever. So like they probably wouldn't be able to rent an entire house on a private land in Houston. That's kind of what I took from it, that it was just so much cheaper out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. It's not a huge production. It wouldn't be that hard to film it somewhere else. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I know I always mention, red flags in horror movies, like going into caves and this and that, but like, oh my God, there were so many red flags in this movie. And it just reinforces my belief. Like, if you're in, I don't know, but if you're in someone's house that you don't know and they're like, can you go into the basement? No.
I know.
He was like my wife. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about your wife, dude. Like, I'm not going to that creepy ass basement.
I mean, until they start knowing shit's going wrong, I mean, you do just kind of feel like, oh man, we are staying on this guy's property, and he says his wife's got like Alzheimer's or dementia or something. Your first thought is not, they're probably gonna kill us.
Yeah, and then, like everyone kind of got separated and went off one by one, and I'm like, damn, dude, like it's perfect for the old people, because I mean, they fell right into their trap.
Yeah, that was the other thing. That's probably the only part of the whole movie I didn't like, is just like how convenient everybody's death was. I was just kind of like, these guys are pretty stupid. Like, nobody's thinking.
Dude, in the beginning, when the, I guess, girlfriend of the producer dude went down to the dock, and you saw the wife kind of like trailing behind her.
Yeah.
And like the camera was kind of fuzzy, so you really only saw like the white of her hair that stood out.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh my God, dude. Like, it was just eerie.
That's probably my favorite shot of the whole movie, actually, is right when that girl walks to the end of the dock and it starts zoomed in and then it zooms out really quick. I'm like, that is such a quintessential 70s horror shot.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, and then the old lady's in the background. But you were saying that there was a lot of red flags. The only red flag that I really saw, and maybe I'm just not thinking of them, is the old guy having the gun in the beginning, where he's like, who are you? And he's got this like shotgun. That's the only thing that I could sit there and be like, all right, this is a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, obvious red flags. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was different back. This was a 79, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was different back then. Like, us being in the current 2022, like, we probably wouldn't go to a house that was in a very remote country area where like no help could be found. And they, we don't have cell phone service. So back then they're probably like, it's just like, it's just a cabin.
Well, why would your brain automatically go to, these two old people are going to kill us?
I don't think it has to go to that, but like they just seemed very lax. Like, for example, they got out of the van, the girl looked up in the window, and super creepy old lady looking down at her. There's no reason for her to think necessarily like, oh, this lady's gonna kill us, but like, a little creepy.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I probably wouldn't wander off by myself without telling anyone I'm going to the dock.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but like I've rented cabins in like upstate New York and stuff like that with a bunch of people, and I'm never thinking like, hey, somebody could be like killing, like come kill us right now. Like I don't know, it's never my first thought, but obviously it's no one's first thought, and then it just starts happening.
Yeah. But if I was there with a group of friends
Yeah.
and you guys were doing something, I'd be like, hey man, I'm gonna go down to the dock.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, yeah. Well, that girl, Mia Goth is the actress's name. She's a cocaine addict. So she's completely probably numb and just not really thinking like most people would. I mean, even at the very end when she kills the old woman, runs over her head, and she drives away.
Spoiler alert.
The whole episode's a spoiler alert. But she she runs over the old lady's head and then drives away, and it's just like she doesn't even flinch. Her boyfriend, all of her friends are dead. She just committed murder, and she's just like, well, I'm fucking high, and just drives away.
That's true. Yeah, that explains my next part, which was when she was skinny dipping in the river.
Yeah.
I mean, safe to assume, I don't live in Texas, but safe to assume that there's probably like snakes or alligators in there. And I'm not going to be cocky or anything or toot my own horn, but I literally said how everyone was going to die before they died.
What? You said that the guy in his underwear was going to get stabbed in the eyes with a pitchfork?
Dude, 1000%. Like, first of all,
okay, Eric.
Dude, listen. Like he's walking towards the other side of the barn door, and there's only 3 holes in that side of the wall. I didn't know he was going to get stabbed with a pitchfork, but I was like, how many movies have we seen where someone looks through the hole and they're like, oh, and then they get stabbed in the face? That happened. The Kid Cudi, I was like, he's probably way too jacked for the old dude to take like hand to hand. And he had a shotgun. I'm like, he's going to blast him with a shotgun. So, but I liked it still.
Did you, until they locked that girl in the basement, did you think the old man was bad? Or did you think like just the wife's bad and actually he is trying to like just look out for her?
I didn't think he was bad. I thought that he knew that she was, doing these things and had tendencies, I guess, to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
But that, maybe he could control it or that she wouldn't do it again. But then, dude, something happened, and did his eyes like seem darker at the end?
Yeah.
Like they almost seemed like possessed.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really get a clear shot of their faces a lot, but the old man, right when he shoots Kid Cudi, yeah, his eyes were like definitely red or like some weird colors.
Yeah, and it's like the movie doesn't really give an exact motive as to why they're doing this. Like clearly the woman has some issues, and she's felt like neglected and not loved or attractive, maybe like her whole life by her husband. And this is causing her to like kill people that she thinks is attractive and love each other. And then like the husband got like really insecure or something and then also started doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, really quick, and then I want to talk to you about this a little bit. They actually shot a prequel to this that is coming out very soon. They shot it at the same time. It's called Pearl, and it's a prequel.
Wait, how do you know this?
Because, I read it online, but when they, so what happened was Ty West shot Pearl and this movie back to back and didn't tell anybody about Pearl. Because here's the other thing. I don't know if you knew this. Guess who the old woman is?
It's the girl.
Yeah, it's Mia Goth. So now what they're going to do, that's so crazy. I didn't know that till the end. So that Mia Goth, the young woman who's on the cocaine addict, is also Pearl, the old woman. So it's awesome. But now they shot a prequel at the same time with Mia Goth as Pearl as a young person. So that's coming out. So it's in post-production right now. So I'm assuming this year it's going to come out, which that's so cool. So anyway, so we're going to find out why this happened, I guess.
Okay.
Because that was one of the major things in the movie. You're like, she's just like a horny old lady, and but that's it. I mean, she just really wants to feel like attractive again, and she's seeing all these young attractive people and is killing them, but you still don't really get it. Because you're like, you fucking had your time. Why are you like ruining this for them? It didn't really make sense.
Yeah, I actually thought that she snapped at the end when she convinced her husband to have sex, and he was like, my heart. I thought she was only saying that so that his heart would fail and she'd kill him. I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, here's the thing: it is not gross when old people have sex. Like, it's not. It's just people that are like us that are older having sex. But this scene, dude,
Yeah,
This looks
I
like
want to see it.
this looked like two corpses going at it, because these are like really old people that are really like unhealthy and like just gross looking. Like it, I don't know, if I saw like Betty White, you know, and Sean Connery or something going at it, like I'd be like, yeah, I can see the appeal, but
just skin everywhere. You don't know whose skin is who.
listen, there's nothing wrong with old people having sex. I hope I'm having sex in my 80s. But today's episode of Wheel of Horror is brought to you by Bard's Clothing. Remember that one time you bought a Cool Cat shirt, and now you get bombarded with calls and ads for Cool Cat shirts? Well, at Bard's Clothing, the focus is on you and your story. A custom clothing company producing casual knits, button-down shirts, suits, and much more. All of Bard's clothing garments are created right here in America, so you don't have to worry about slave labor or killing the environment. Buying with intention to tell your story has never been easier. Go to bardsclothing.com to book an appointment, and be sure to follow them at Bard's Clothing on Instagram. This episode of Wheel of Horror is sponsored by Newsly. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time ever in all of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable all in one place. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening. You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science, to Bitcoin, or even the Kardashians. If you find the latest articles, you can have them read aloud to you. And they even have podcasts. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Wheel of Horror, obviously, is on there too. Download and use Newsly for free now from www.newsly.me or from the link in the description. And use promo code Wheel of Horror at checkout, and you can receive 1 month free of premium subscription. That's Wheel of Horror at checkout. These people I don't want to see have sex. There's a lot of young people I don't want to see have sex, but
Yeah, he was like 100. Like when they were doing it, I was like, you know what? Good for him.
yeah, I mean, even he was like, I'm probably gonna die, but let's do it. And he didn't die, so, you know. But I like that line where she even says, it's like, what about like all these people now? And he's like, I don't care anymore. It's like, you can fuck me again, so I don't care about killing people anymore. It's a little weird. That was a little weird.
Yeah, so the camera guy, he wanted to make this more than just a porno. And he was dating that other girl, Sound Girl, who is only 20 in real life. She looks really young. And for whatever reason, I don't know, I kind of find it stupid that like he didn't really try and like stop her.
What are you talking about?
He was just he like asserted his dominance and was like, no, you're not going to do this. But like she kind of wanted a reason. And I just feel like in a real life situation, you'd be like, hey, can we like talk over there for a second? and just be like, look, I totally respect that you want to do this, but like, I really like you and don't want to see you get absolutely destroyed by this bull. So like,
yeah, they probably did need to have like a side conversation, because I feel like that's probably what would happen in real life, is if everybody is kind of on her side, where they're just like, why not? Let it be, like, do what she wants. Like, if you're a boyfriend of somebody, you're probably gonna be like, hey, really?
And then if you can't stop them, I'm not going to be like, well, I guess I'll just film it now.
I wouldn't film it either. I'd be like,
because then he was in the shower crying, and I'm like, all right, dude, get a hold of yourself. Like,
yeah, that's a very uncomfortable situation, because you're right. Like, I would assume the vast majority of men and women, if they were in that situation, would just be like, I'm not cool with you doing this. Like, you know, it's not like they were like at home having tea, and then one day she's like, listen, I've been thinking for a while now about potentially, you know, having sex with somebody else. Like, there wasn't that. She's just like, yeah, you know, let's just fuck. Like, it just, yeah, it was very uncomfortable. And then she's like, wait, he's not gonna leave me now, right? It's like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Oh, well, yeah, when she was talking to the guy, she's like, do you think he's mad? Like, yeah,
Exactly.
So I have some notes here on kind of the red flags I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
One of them that really stood out to me was when the boyfriend tried to leave. The old lady was standing in the driveway, and I immediately noticed her left hand was behind her back, and I was like, she has a knife. And so he got really close to her, which I would not have done. Quite frankly, I would have just driven around her. But like you said, there's no reason to suspect anything, and she's a crazy old lady standing there at 3 a.m. And so he, you know, she like hugged him, and he like tried to push her off. And I was just like, dude, you're too close. And then boom, knife in the throat.
Right. But that's the thing, man. Like,
And then she stabbed him like 30 times.
she like cut his head off.
And then when she got on top of him, I was like, is she about to have sex with him?
That's what I thought, dude.
Yo.
I thought what was going to happen was I thought that guy was going to go in the barn or whatever. Wayne was going to go in the barn and she was going to be having sex with his corpse. That's what I thought was going to happen, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Really quick before I forget. So the opening shot of the movie is two police officers going into the house after all of this has already happened. So there's a massacre at this house. They go into the basement and they just go like, my God. And the movie starts or whatever. What the hell was that guy, dude, that they find in the basement? They show it later in the movie.
I'm guessing that was the guy maybe from that hippie van. We saw the other van in the river because they've clearly done this before. And then I guess they tied him up and like having sex with him.
Did you see his dick?
No, what happened?
I paused it. I rewinded and paused it because I was like, wait, what did they do to him? Dude, it looks all right. Like, I don't know because I still even looking at it, I was like, what did they do? It looks like they like broke his femur and like stuck the bone of his femur into his dick. That's what it looked like, dude.
Oh.
Because it looks like his dick is like growing into his leg. Guys.
I don't know. I wasn't really looking.
Okay, yeah, I was, because her face is just so, it's the poster of the movie when she sees that. So I was like,
oh,
or not there's a poster of like a girl screaming, you know, the one on Apple or whatever.
Yeah,
that's that face. I was like, oh God. So yeah, if you're gonna watch this, maybe you can tell me what they did to his penis, because
I also really liked the flashing edits they did, where like it would be a scene and then it would like, it kind of like startled me. It happened so fast and they'd like flash to another scene. You know what I'm talking
about? Do you mean like the lemonade scene where they're like cut back and forth between like a porno lemonade and then like the old lady drinking lemonade?
Yeah. I like it.
I don't know what the point of that was. It was just to show like the two sides of what was happening. A creepy lemonade encounter and a sexy lemonade encounter.
I don't know. It just kind of made it more suspenseful.
Yeah, it's true. That's the only scene where we get a tiny glimpse of her past, you know, where she's sitting with the Mia Goth's character and she's looking at pictures and she's like, Matt Howard was in World War I and II and like all of this stuff. So they seem like a fairly normal couple. I mean,
yeah,
veteran husband. And yeah, so I think this prequel is definitely going to show the dark side of that. And I'm assuming it's probably going to take place in like the 40s or 50s, maybe, or probably like the 30s or 40s. Yeah.
Another scenario of these must have been the nicest porn people ever, because she walked into this house and it was like a dump. Like there was like they were cooking something on the stove and there was just like, it looked like a Hoarders episode in the kitchen. And then the old lady was just standing there, scared the shit out of me, just standing there.
Yeah.
And she was like, you want lemonade? I mean, dude, I'd be like, no, thank you. I wouldn't even be in the house, but I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah. No, it wasn't even do you want lemonade? She's just like, lemonade. And she's like, what?
And then she chugged it.
Yeah.
And then, dude, when the old lady like touched her side, like her rib cage, I was like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I'd be like, I think it's time to go.
Yeah, she was like, what are you doing? Let's get out of the house.
She's like, it'll be all your secret. And she's like tickling her side. Yeah, dude. That's the thing. Like the actress Mia Goth, to be able to play both of those like so differently that I couldn't even tell it was a different actress.
The only time I could tell was when there was one scene where the old lady was killing someone, and the way that the camera was faced, you kind of saw like you were looking at the old lady's face, and it kind of was like flashing back and forth between like she looked normal old, and then it looked kind of like makeup. You know what I'm talking about?
Is it the scene where like she's imagining herself in the porn scene? That one?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean her body it's
moving weird. So like,
well, you know what? I just made me think of, you know how like the scene where they're like, hey man, like love is love, like sex is sex, it doesn't matter. Like they're having that whole little conversation, which is what makes the Jenny Ortega character be like, I want to do porn now. What if the old lady just came down and was like, I want to do porn? And why would they say no?
Love is love, baby.
That's what I'm saying. So like all of them would have been like, ew. It's like, hold on. And then the boyfriend RJ goes, hold on a second. just said love is love, right? And they're like, well, we didn't mean no. Kid Cudi and New Zealand guy in underwear. What'd you just say about love is love? Well, what this lady wants love, so what are we talking about here? Well, you'll have sex with my 20-year-old girlfriend. You want to have sex with a 200-year-old lady? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Dude, when she was moving, I don't know if it was like she was trying to trick people or I don't know, but like she looked very old, obviously, and was moving very slowly. But every time she was like following people, she was moving real quick. Like in the cabin, dude, she was moving real quick.
That's what she wants to kill people. I mean, that's like her, her adrenaline just jacked up,
She's jacked up.
Maybe we'll find out she's doing cocaine. I don't know.
When she crawled in the bed with dude, and she took her shirt off and like crawled in and was like rubbing her arm, I was just thinking, I put myself in that girl situation where she rolled over, probably thinking it was like her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And I like pretended I was opening my eyes. And if I saw that in real life, like I would be so frightened, dude.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Terrified.
Like, what would I do? And I was like, I think I would like hurl my body out of bed and probably like smash into like the side table and be like, oh my God. And like, just like knocking everything over.
Like, dude, she screamed so fucking loud and Brittany Snow like woke up and was like, holy shit.
Well, dude, that's the thing. It's like old people and like toddlers. Like, you're not expecting them to do anything. So if like a kid's running up to you to hit you, your first reaction is not going to be, I'm going to fucking deck this kid. It's going to be like, all right, I want to get this kid off of me. Same thing with an old person. You're not going to be like, I'm going to punch their face because anybody's going to be like, dude, what are you doing? You're like, she was grabbing me. It's like, she's 100. It's like, I don't know. You broke her nose, dude.
Yeah, it really reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I was thinking of the episode we did. And I was just thinking how like, I would like, dude, old people creep me out so much in movies, like toddlers and old people, but dude, old people really creep me out. And I was just thinking how even the dude in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he was like 7 feet tall, 250 pounds, big burly dude. I would rather like turn in an alleyway and see that dude than that old lady because dude, if you see him, at least to be on guard. Right. Like you're threatened by his physical presence. But if I saw her, I'd be like, hi. Like I'm not, my first instinct is not going to be like, dude, I'm gonna knock this old lady out.
Right. Okay. That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. So she is unassuming. So it's the same thing with the knife. It's like when that guy goes up to her, he's not expecting this old lady to just have a knife and stab him, You're right.
You're telling me, dude, if you were standing next to an old lady with her hand behind her back, you wouldn't be like, ma'am, what's behind your back?
I would probably walk a lot slower. And I probably would be in my car and be like, hey, are you okay? And then,
but yeah, I mean, in his defense, he was probably rattled too because his girlfriend just got absolutely pummeled. So.
Yeah. Everybody's not at their best at this place. We got drug addicts and relationships breaking up. Really quick though, I did not know that was Kid Cudi.
I didn't know that was Kid Cudi either.
Yeah, so I got a kind of a quick, funny Kid Cudi story, which I wish Eric was here for. But the day that I got back from London when I was studying abroad, Eric was like, dude, there's a Kid Cudi concert at Sacred Heart. Do you want to come? And I was like, you know what? I just got back to America. Let's do it. So me and Zach Simpson and Eric all went and saw Kid Cudi at Sacred Heart. And the concert was fine. Like, I'm not a huge fan or whatever, but I did like a couple of songs. And the concert was fine. And right when we leave the concert, somebody just goes, this is in 2011, and somebody just goes, yo, Osama bin Laden's dead. And like everybody was like, what? Like everyone's freaking out. And, this is before like anything. I don't even know if Twitter was around then. So people are like, going on Facebook and all this stuff. And they're seeing, oh my God, Osama bin Laden's dead. So Eric and I thought it'd be so much funnier or cooler too if Kid Cudi like found out during the show and he told them, he's like, yo man, just gotta let y'all know, motherfucker Osama bin Laden's dead. And then he changes his lyrics. It was like, day and night, yeah, tonight Osama bin Laden, night. like I'm on the pursuit of Osama bin Laden. It's like, I'm gonna shoot him. So like I thought that would have been like the night to remember. Like Kid Cudi announce it at the concert, change the lyrics, But no, we ended up all getting drunk on a golf course and being like, yeah, man, America, man, yeah, man. Anyway, so that's my Kid Cudi story.
Dude, when Lorraine, the young girl, got out of the basement, which again, the second she walked up the basement, I was like, that door's going to be locked. When she got out, which before she got out, by the way, she used the little hatchet to get the little window in the door open and tried reaching her arm really far. I was like, why don't you just get that other one open? Like, You know what I mean?
I thought a couple things about that. I was like, okay, old people, you kind of gave her a lot of weapons and
There's a lot
abilities.
of weapons down
Yeah, you
there.
gave her an axe. You're trying to keep her locked in a door, a wood door. You give her an axe. It's like, okay. But, I was also thinking like, if I was in that situation, I'd be terrified. Also, like my fingers are all broken. Like that guy like busted him
Oh,
up with a gun.
oh, her finger got fucked up. Yeah.
But you think about it, she's in that house alone for 20 minutes while the old people are having sex at the other house. Like, she
Mm.
could have escaped, but, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming she thought maybe they were watching the TV or something like that because they turned the TV on. But,
Yeah, she was trying to lift the hurricane hatch with a chain on it for like, she tried lifting it like 20 times. I was like, it's not opening.
yeah.
Find another way.
Yeah, she could have escaped. That girl could have escaped a few times.
When she ran out and got blasted by the double barrel, I jumped. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah. And then her, like, not being alive, but like her nerves just reacting, which then causes the old man to have a heart attack. You're like,
yeah.
I was not expecting that at all.
That was sick. Maybe he was, it startled him because of something he saw in the war that maybe they'll do in the prequel. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, but his heart wasn't in good shape. But yeah, dude, so that was intense. And then the old lady goes to shoot her with a shotgun, misses, which is kind of ridiculous. Like,
well, dude, she got blasted back like 10 feet.
I know, which ends up breaking her hip. But then I love how the church sermon TV shows on, and at that moment the guy goes divine intervention, and you're just like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Well, dude, did you notice the girl on the TV was her?
Of course, yeah.
Well, what does that mean?
I mean, that means that she ran away. She ran away from her family, who was like a very conservative Christian sermon in Texas or whatever. They're like on the TV, and she ran away.
Okay. The only thing that bothered me about that scene with the old lady was there was like a difference of 10 seconds. So she ran to the house and only spent like 5 to 10 seconds opening the lock. Literally, when she left the other cabin, they were still having sex.
Yeah.
So like they must have finished, got dressed very fast, and like sped walk back up to catch her on time.
Yeah, they got back to the house pretty quickly. Yeah, well, the other thing is I did not like how when the girls meet up at the end, Mia Goth and Jenny Ortega, and she's like, yeah, this is all your fault. Like, I hate you. Get away from me. It's like, lady, seriously? Like, you have to be like, oh my God, thank God it's you, sort of thing. Like, let's work to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, my first reaction would not be to blame. It's not like they had any idea this would happen.
No. So... yeah, that was kind of, I was like, come on, keep it together for a minute. Like, seriously? And then she gets her due by getting shot. Yeah, I mean, before we wrap up here, like, I'm just kind of curious because Pearl does say a few times, like, she was special, like, sort of thing. So, like, what were they going to do with her?
Well, the old lady said she didn't want to hurt her. And I think she had, like, a romantic thing going on because she, like, kept touching her and was upset. I think she reminded her of her when she was younger, but I don't know.
And she also said, like, I don't like blondes. So it was like, is she trying to have sex with her, or is she trying to like do a spell to become her? Like, I don't know. Like, I was a little confused, which I'm excited for this prequel to hopefully wrap up a couple loose ends.
Only thing that I found, which I actually did some research on, was the double barrel shotgun that they used, because most double barrel shotguns, and I looked it up, and it specifically said for older double barrels, which I'm assuming in 1979 would count as older.
Sure.
When you shoot a double barrel, it shoots both barrels. So what that would have meant is when they shot the girl and blew her face off, the old lady would have had to unload the double barrel, put 2 new shells in, recock it, and then shoot again. I mean, that's probably me looking into it, and they're probably just like, it was 1 barrel. But it made me think.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't have noticed that. So, I mean, that is something that's interesting. Another interesting thing I want to ask you is, we just did the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then we're doing this one. Both take place in Texas, but guess where both of those movies were filmed?
I don't know.
New Zealand.
Okay.
So just, I don't know. I just think that's kind of interesting. It's like, why couldn't they, I don't know. Why not? It takes place in Texas. I get it. Like, it's probably more expensive, but...
well, I mean, is it more expensive? I feel like it'd be expensive to fly everything out to New Zealand.
We don't have to fly anything but the actors. They'd hire the crew out there and all that stuff, so they don't have to do much. But I just want to make sure that Netflix one.
Maybe they did it to also get a more Texas Chainsaw vibe to it.
I'm sorry. The new Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria? What are we making up places? That's not a real place.
Bulgaria and New Zealand, do they look that much like Texas? I can't believe that. Dude, is New Zealand just a place where they're like, we want it to look like Lord of the Rings. We want it to look like Texas. They just can like make whatever. I don't know.
Very quickly, I want to read a handful of comments on the post. I posted, I said, give me your thoughts on X. Death by DVD said, absolutely loved X. I went into it with a smug meh attitude and left like a kid who just saw a rock and roll show for the first time. It's a wild ride and grade A exploitation. Ty West is on fire. Amazing. I agree. I went into it kind of being like, I'm sure it's good. And I ended it being like, this was great. Christy Lay Lust, hope I said that right. This movie was fantastic on so many levels. Can't say enough about it. I agree. Mikey, 1 minute. I'm seeing this posted everywhere. Definitely on my watch list. What platform did you watch it? Okay, well Apple Mikey. Apple Mikey. Daniel Starsick, which I'm surprised we didn't talk about this in the film. In the review, he said, I've been quoting this movie all month. In quotations, feel how hard I am is my new catchphrase. I almost spit my coffee out when reading this. That scene was fucking gross, dude.
Which scene? When he grabbed his dick?
When he grabbed the old lady's hand and put it on his dick.
Oh, yeah.
That was disgusting. Okay, anyway. Movies for real. The light scene jump scare got me. That was a clever edit. Yep, it scared me too. Silver screen savers. This was one of the best slashers we've seen in years. I agree. I'm definitely going to rewatch this movie. No on 15 all cast said, oh man, can't drop a comment with a spoiler. Let's just say there are some thirsty people in this one. I read this before I watched it, and for some reason I was like, oh man, do people like drink blood in this or something? so yeah, this was really, I liked it. Out of 10, Alec, what do you think?
I think this is a 7, solid 7.
You're a piece of work.
Really?
I would say, okay, you see now, you know what? Your rating is affecting
whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
I was going to say 8, dude.
Then say 8.
Okay, I'm going to say 8.
Good.
It was fun, dude. Even though the deaths were kind of predictable, even though we don't have a direct motive for the old people killing them, like, it was still cool.
Dude, and Pearl's coming out hopefully this year, so like maybe some of the things we don't understand will get answered, you know? It'll make us maybe understand and appreciate this movie better. I mean, it's good, but I will say the Rotten Tomato score is 96. So yeah, I was like, it's crazy. Hold on there.
What do you think, very quickly, will Pearl pertain? Like, what do you think it'll be encompass?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I think that she's like a witch or something. I think she's like, or it's like some human sacrifice cult thing. That's what I think it's going to be about. And like, she needs to either have sex with people or kill people to like get some powers or something. I don't
think so.
I think there's more to it than just they're murderers. I think it's just because they're so old at this point. It's almost like Hocus Pocus. That's what I think is going to happen, where it's like they need to like get the souls or something to retain their strength and youth. That's what I think it's going to be about. It's a guess.
Okay. Do you think his black pupils gave it away? Because they looked like not human pupils when that happened.
I don't know. Because they died pretty easily. I mean, Jesus, the guy fucking had a heart attack when the lady coughed. I mean, you know, he wasn't that hard to kill. And the other lady basically killed herself, you know?
Okay.
But I want to watch it again because I want to really pay attention to what they say to each other and stuff. And like the dolls in the house. Like there's so much weird stuff that I kind of, you know, I watched it last night at like midnight. So I want to watch it again.
Okay.
Dude, the other thing is the shot that I just need to call out again. I know I mentioned the doc already, but the like aerial shot of her in the lake when the alligator's going up to her, I was like, this is like Jaws level of like tension, you know?
Yeah, there was the alligator swimming after her, which I was just like, oh man, I was on the edge of my seat. But then at the end, when it ate Brittany Snow, a couple things stood out to me. One, what are the odds that the alligator was right there? But then I was thinking, there was like this weird like camera angle because the old lady was at the dock staring at the water, almost like looking at the alligator, as if they had like I don't know. Did you?
Dude, 100%. Have you ever seen Lake Placid? That's what Betty White's character was with the alligator. She would feed the alligator cows and stuff like that, and it was like a pet. 100% that alligator is their pet, dude. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, totally, dude. And yeah, she knew 100% that alligator was going to be in there ready to go. And they also, it's like Psycho. They mentioned Psycho in the movie, and there's the car in the lake, just like Psycho. And they talk about putting the bodies in the lake. Yeah, this movie has a lot going on. I need to see it again, because we're critiquing it after only seeing it 24 hours ago one time,
Yeah.
Mia Goth, who's she been dating for 10 years, if you had to guess?
Probably someone I'm not going to guess.
You know him. He's crazy.
Rob Zombie?
No, he's been married for a long time. No, he's our age, this guy, roughly.
I don't know.
He's crazy. It's Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my God, really?
They have a kid together now, yeah.
What?
They've been together for like 10 years, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Anyways, great movie. If you like horror movies, check it out. If you like 80s, 70s films, you'll love this. I mean,
if you like Brittany Snow.
Yeah, if you want to see Brittany Snow naked, this is your chance. If you want to maybe see Kid Cudi's probably not penis, also your chance. It could be. If it is, holy shit.
If it is, congrats, Mr. Cuddy.
It's congrats, but it's also like, is it frustrating to like sit? Do you have to get a car seat for it? Like, what's it like? Anyways, but it's a great movie. Definitely check it out. And Pearl's coming out, so we're going to cover that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you very much for listening in to our episode on X today. Next Monday, we have Evil Dead, the remake, which will be with Matt Vanaver. And then last week, we had Turistas. So check that out. And we'll see you all next Friday with another episode of Fresh Film Fridays.